Hello students and welcome to the lecture. So students, as we know that we are covering the Central Bureau of Investigation, okay, which is in short known as the CBI. And basically, these are the topics that we have scheduled for the discussion under this particular series, like starting with the establishment of CBI, then the motto, mission and vision of CBI, organization of CBI, composition of CBI, functions of CBI, provision of prior permission, CBI versus State Police, and the CBI Academy. Okay, so these are the topics that we have scheduled for the discussion under this particular series. If we talk about the topics that we have covered so far, so we have done with the establishment of CBI, motto, mission, and vision of CBI, and the topic on which we have been discussing, that is the organization of CBI. And the topic that we are left with, composition of CBI, the functions of CBI, provision of prior permission, CBI versus State Police, and the CBI Academy. Alright, so this is the picture that we have created so far all together. So in this lecture, basically we will start with the organization of CBI, and you can say it is the topic where we had left it. Before this, let us, you can say, revise the following things that we had discussed in the previous lecture. So we can say the Central Bureau of Investigation was established in 1963 on the recommendation of Santham Committee. Santham Committee was appointed by the Indian government during the time period of 1962 to 1964, okay, on the topic of prevention of corruption. Alright, and the committee recommended for the establishment of organization like the Central Bureau of Investigation. Thereafter, we had discussed that when it was established, so basically it was put under the control of the Ministry of Home Affairs. Alright, but later on it was transferred to Ministry of Personnel. Got it? And second thing that we had discussed was that when the CBI was established, so on that time it was not, you can say, established as a statutory body. Even it is not a statutory body. Why? Because there is no separate act for the CBI. The CBI empowers its protection from Delhi Special Police Establishment Act 1946. Got it? And now, if we talk about the organization of CBI, so we can say in 1963, originally when the CBI was formed, okay, so it had the 6 divisions: investigation and anti-corruption division, like powered by the special, or you can say Delhi Special Police Establishment, technical division, crime records and statistics division, okay, research division, legal and general division, and the administration division. So these were the 6 divisions that were provided when the CBI was established. Okay. And if we talk about present, basically the data has been changed. It is not the 2019, but still the divisions are the same. So right now the CBI having the 7 divisions. The CBI having the 7 divisions basically, and these divisions are: the first is the anti-corruption division, second is economic offences division, third is special crime division, okay, fourth is policy and coordination division, fifth is administration division, sixth is directorate of prosecution, and the seventh is central forensic science laboratory. Okay, so these are the 7 divisions right now the CBI having. Let us repeat their names again: anti-corruption division, the economic offences division, the special crime division, policy and coordination division, administration division, directorate of prosecution, central forensic science laboratory. Okay, so now if we talk about the composition of CBI, here we had seen the organization of CBI. Now we are going to see the composition of CBI. Okay, so basically the first thing that we can see here is the top leadership of the CBI, like whosoever would be the head of the CBI. So basically the CBI is headed by the director. Who heads the CBI? Director. Okay. So here you can say, basically, in the examination, the question could be asked like this. The position that heads the CBI is called Director, President, Chairman, and Speaker. So what should be the correct answer? The Director. Okay. So first thing that we had seen here is that the Director is the name of the position that headed the CBI. Second, he is assisted by a special director or an additional director. So you can say the special director or an additional directors, these two positions are the immediate subordinate to the director. Immediate subordinate means, suppose if the director is L1, the level 1, so the special director or the additional director would be L2, level 2. Got it? So they would be immediate succession under the director. Third is, additionally, it has a number of joint directors, Deputy Inspector Generals, DIG in short, Superintendents of Police, S, and all other user ranks of police personnel. So here we can say that CBI having the rank structure in the same manner as the ordinary police force have. Okay, the rank structure is not changed. Why? Because the CBI does not have any personal act. It's having Delhi Special Police Establishment Act. Okay, on the basis of that act, the CBI's powers and the functions have been derived off. Okay, so that's why the senior most officer of the CBI is of the rank of directors, and he is subordinated by the special director or an additional director. Okay. Additionally, it having the joint directors, DIG, the Deputy Inspector Generals, Superintendents of Police, the SPs, and other usual ranks of police personnel. Okay. If we talk about the total strength of the CBI, so it's having 500 staff members, 125 foreign scientists, and 250 law officers. Okay. If we total them, then you can say at least 275. 5,000 and 275 is the total composition of the CBI. And if we, you can say, break this composition, so we will find out of this, the 5,000 are the general staff members, 125 are the forensic scientists, and 250 are the law officers. Okay. The director of CBI is of the Inspector General of Police, IG rank officer. Delhi Special Police Establishment is responsible for the administration of the organization. That what we had already seen. Like the DPSP is the one which empowers the CBI to, you can say, administers their rules and regulations. Got it? This is the one. Now, if we move forward, with the enactment of CVC Act 2003, what do you mean by the CVC? Central Vigilance Commission. Okay, and it is the statutory body. Why? Because if we look at here, what you will find, CVC Act 2003. Okay, so the superintendence of Delhi Special Police Establishment rests with the central government. Okay, so it saves investigations of offences under the Prevention of Corruption Act 1988, in which the superintendents rests with the Central Vigilance Commission. Alright, so here you can say, basically there are two different acts which having the two different powers in two different organizations. Like if we talk about the DSPE, Delhi Special Police Establishment, the act having the power behind the working of the CBI. Got it? And this act empowers which government? The central government. Okay, for the investigations. Whereas if we look at the another act, that is the Prevention of Corruption Act 1988. So if we look at this act, so this act gives the superintendence of the investigation to the Central Vigilance Commission, CVC. Okay, that's why I said that there are two acts and they give two different powers to two different organizations. The director of CBI has been provided security of 2 years tenure in office by CVC Act 2003. Okay, it means that once the person would be appointed as a director of the CBI, IG rank officer. All right, so he will continue his tenure for 2 years. It is fixed. Okay, and it is fixed by which act? The CVC Act 2003. So we can say, suppose if on 1st January 2000 the person has been appointed as the director of CBI, so till when he will continue his office? Till 31st December 2000, because that is the tenure when the 2 years time period was over. Okay. After this, we can say the Lokpal and Lok Ayuks Act 2013. Basically, this amended the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act 1946. Okay, so the question would be asked, like the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act 1946 was amended through which act? The answer is Lokpal and the Lok Ayuks Act 2013. Okay, so this particular act amended the Delhi Special Establishment Act 1946 and basically made the changes in the composition of the CBI as following. First is the central government shall appoint the director of CBI on the recommendation of 3-member committee consisting Prime Minister as the chairman, thereafter the leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, and the Chief Justice of India or the judge of the Supreme Court nominated by him. Okay, so the first change they made in the, you can say, the selection of the CBI. Okay, like you can say there was a formation of the committee that will recommends the government to choose the person as the director of the CBI. And this committee includes the 3 persons. The chairperson was the Prime Minister, then the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, and the Chief Justice of India. And if the Chief Justice of India is not by himself, then he could nominate any other judge of Supreme Court to be the part of that particular committee in place of it. Got it? Thereafter, you can say there shall be a directorate of prosecution headed by the director for conducting the prosecution of cases under the Lokpal and the Lok Ayuks Act 2013. Okay, so you can say the directorate of prosecution who is under the control of the director. Okay, all right. So there will be a directorate of prosecution that will be headed by the director for conduction of the prosecution cases of Lokpal and Lok Ayuks Act 2013. Okay, and if we talk about the director of the prosecution, whosoever will be the director of the prosecution, if we talk about him, so he shall be an officer who is not below the rank of Joint Secretary to the Government of India. Okay, so if we talk about this rank, the Joint Secretary rank, then it is granted to the officers from Indian Administrative Services. Okay, and he shall function under the overall supervision and control of the director of CBI. Under the overall supervision and control of the director of CBI, and he shall be appointed by the central government on the recommendations of CVC, the Central Vigilance Commission, and hold office for 2 years. Okay, so that is the thing. After, if we move forward, then we could say the central government shall appoint officers of the rank of SP, the Superintendent of Police, and above in the CBI on the recommendations of committee, that consisting of the Central Vigilance Commissioner as chairperson, Vigilance Commissioners as the member, the Secretary of the Home Ministry as the member, and the Secretary of the Department of Personnel. as a member. So if you count them, then they are 1, they are 2, 3, 4, and 5. How many members are there? Total 6 members are there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Total there are 5 members. How I can say this? The first is the chairperson of the Central Vigilance Commissioner. He is also the chairperson here. Thereafter the vigilance commissioners, then the vigilance commissioners are usually 3 and more. Then the secretary of the Home Ministry, he will be the one, and the secretary of the Department of Customs. So these basically forms the committees, and then they recommends the name of the officers who are appointed by the central government in the CBI, but the rank of SP is fixed. It means that the officers must be up to the rank of SP and above. Below SP rank officers could not be appointed as a member of CBI. Remember this. Later, the Delhi Special Establishment Amendment Act 2014 that made a change in the composition of the committee relating to the appointment of directors of CBI. Okay, and what is that change? It states that where there is no recognized leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, then the leader of the single largest opposition party in the Lok Sabha would be a member of that committee. So here, if we talk about it, so what we had seen basically the director appointed by the committee which having the 3 members, the Prime Minister, the leader of opposition, and the Justice of India. These 3 would be the member of the appointment committee to appoint the director of the CBI. And then what we have seen, suppose there is a condition like the leader of opposition is not clearly defined. Why? Because if we talk about the leader of opposition, then whosoever would be the leader of the political party in the parliament that had scored at least 1 by 10 seats in the general election during the Lok Sabha elections. Okay, so that will be appointed as a leader of opposition. But here we are taking the condition in which suppose the leader of opposition has not clearly defined. Then in such a scenario, whosoever would be the leader of the single largest opposition party, they would be a leader of opposition. Okay, that is a thing. After this, if we talk about the functions of the CBI, now we are going to talk about the functions of CBI. So we can say the CBI having the following functions like investigating cases of corruption, bribery, and misconduct of the central government employees. Cases of corruptions, bribery, and misconduct of the central government employees if committed any. Second is investigating cases relating to the infringement of fiscal and economic laws and the breach of laws consisting export and import control, customs and central excise, income tax, the foreign exchange regulations, and so on. Okay, so if you look at the criminal matters, then these are of the fiscal or the financial natures or of the economic laws. Okay, so if any of these matters are there, okay, then the CBI could take up the charge. However, such cases are up either in the consultation with or at the request of the department concerned. So you can say whenever the CBI will take over the investigation of these type of cases. Okay, so the CBI will took the consideration, all right, from the house about which the bill is to be presented, and even the concerned department, okay, through which the crime has been reported, that concerned department is required to coordinate with the CBI after the request of that concerned department. All right. After this, we can say investigating serious crimes having the national and international ramifications, okay, committed by organized gangs of professional criminals. So these are the crimes which are, you can say, checked out by the Central Bureau of Investigation. After this, we can say coordinating the activities of anti-corruption agencies and the various state police forces. Then taking up on the request of the state government any case of public importance for the investigation. On the request of the state government, why I'm saying this? Because we know the Delhi Special Establishment Act provides the CBI under the control of the central government. So the CBI is under the control of the central government, so that's why the state government could not give the directions to the CBI. But however, if there is any case of public importance, then the state government could request the CBI to launch the investigation. Okay. Thereafter, maintaining crime statistics and disseminating criminal information. That are the areas in which the CBI works. So here we can say the CBI is the multidisciplinary investigation agency of the government of India and undertakes investigation of corruption related cases, economic offences and cases of conventional crime. Got it? Normally confines activities in the anti-corruption field to offences committed by the employees of the central government and the UTs and their public sector undertakings PSUs. Then takes up the investigation of the conventional crimes like the murder crime, like the kidnapping, rape, etc. on reference from the state governments or when directed by the Supreme Courts and the High Courts. Okay, because these are the criminal nature. The CBI acts as a national central bureau of Interpol in India. What do you mean by the Interpol? Interpol stands for the International Police. Basically, you can say various countries have merged together in the police forces and formed the Interpol. India is also the member of the Interpol. So basically, from Indian side, the National Central Bureau or the CBI represents the facts and figures. Got it? And here we can say the Interpol wing of the CBI coordinates requests for investigating relation related to the activities originating from Indian law enforcement agencies and the members of countries of the Interpol. After this, if we talk about the position of prior permission, the provision of prior permission, so we can say CBI is required to obtain the prior approval of the central government before conducting any inquiry or investigation into an offence committed by the officers of the rank of Joint Secretary and above in the central government and its authorities. Got it? So, this prior approval of the central government is not so valid as per the constitutional provision and as per the principle behind establishing the CBI agency. So basically that's why on May 6, 2014, the Supreme Court held it as an invalid and basically says that prior selection mandatory for the Central Bureau of Investigation to conduct a probe against the senior bureaucrats in the corruption cases under the Prevention of the Corruption Case, etc. A constitutional bench held that Section 6A of the Delhi Special Establishment Act granted protection to the Joint Secretary and above officers from facing even a preliminary inquiry by the CBI in corruption cases and was violated of article. Welcoming the court orders, the CBI director said, it is a landmark judgment that will empower the agency in investigations into the several cases pending before the provision that has been struck down by the constitutional bench. Okay. We had for long been of the view that inquiry against senior officers need not require any prior permission. Writing to the judgment, the CJI said, corruption is an enemy of the nation and tracking down a corruption, or you can say a corrupt public servant, howsoever high he may be. It means that whatsoever rank he had, and punishing the person is a necessary for the Prevention of Corruption Act 1988. The status or position of a public servant does not qualify the person from exception from equal treatment. It means that doesn't matter whatever the position the public servant had, they both get the same prosecution machinery from the CBI. The decision-making powers does not segregate current officers into two classes as they are common crime duos and others have to be taken down by the same process of inquiry investigation. Got it? The bench said The Section 6A of DPSP Act granted protection to one set of officers directly destructive and runs counter the object and reasons for the PC Act of 1988. Also undermines the object of detecting and punishing the high-level corruption. How can two public servants against whom there are allegations of corrupt or graft or bribe taking out criminal misconduct under the PC Act 1988 be made to be treated differently because one happens to the junior officer and others are senior decision maker? So that's why it is said that whether the officer is of the high rank or the lower rank, they both are equal in the court of CBI. The provision in Section 6A impedes taking down the corrupt senior bureaucrats as without previous approval of the central government. The CBI cannot even hold preliminary inquiry, much less as an investigation into the allegations. Got it? The protection under the Section 6A has propensity of shielding the corrupt. Why? Because the senior officers could not be prosecuted by the CBI without the prior permission of the central government. Observing that there could not be any protection to corrupt public servants, a bench said the aim and object of investigation is ultimately to search for truth, and any law that impedes that subject may not stand as the test of Article 14, which provides for the equality before law to everyone. The breach of rule of law, in our opinion, amounts to the negation of equality under Article 40. Section 6A fails in the contents of these facets of Article 40. Okay. Now after this, we are going to see the CBI versus the state police. So we can say the role of special police establishment, a division of CBI, is supplementary to that of the state police forces. Along with the state police forces, the special police establishment enjoys the concurrent powers. It means the powers of center and the state as well in investigation and prosecution for the offences under the Delhi Police Establishment Act 1946. However, to avoid the duplication and overlapping of the cases between these two agencies, the following administrative arrangements have been made so far. First, the SPE shall take up such cases which are essentially and substantially concerned with the central government affairs or employees, even if they also involve certain government employees. The state police force shall take up such cases which are substantially concerned with the state government affairs or employees, even if they also involve certain government employees. SPA shall take up cases against employees of public undertakings or statutory bodies established and financed by the central government. Okay. After this comparison, here now we are going to talk about the CBI Academy. So we can say the CBI Academy is located at Ghaziabad, Uttar Pradesh, and started functioning in the 1996. Earlier training programs were being conducted at the CBI Training Center in New Delhi. That was not an academy. The vision of CBI Academy is excellence in training in the fields of crime investigation, prosecution, and vigilance function. Mission is to train the human resources CBI, the state police, and the vigilance organizations to become professional, industrial, impartial, upright, and dedicated to the service of the nation. The academy is the focal point of training activities within the organization and responsible for the identification of suitable training programs, regulation of nomination of trainees, and the preparation of the annual training calendar. Besides the CBI Academy at Mumbai, there are also 3 regional centers imparting training at regional levels at Kolkata, Mumbai, and Chennai. Got it? So students, basically in this lecture we have done with the CBI. In the next lecture we will start with another important topic. Till then, just revise the facts and figures that all we have discussed in this lecture and be ready for the another lecture. Please revise this lecture before you have come for this lecture. Why? Because the CBI is not only the important topic but also very interesting topic. So if you will revise it and if you will try to connect it with the relevancy of the CBI we usually see in the news, so you will find it very easy to learn about it. Okay. So with this note, let's end this lecture, and what we say in the end, we say thank you.